Hey there, Angry Faithful. I just wanted to drop in, bend your ear a little bit, get your attention. So if you're not listening, drop what you're doing and pay attention to me, because I'm here to inform you that not only can you get your daily, maybe if you're binging it, I'm not sure, that's entirely up to you, but you can multiply your doses of angry me fuckery by paying attention to all of the platforms upon which you can find either the dulcet tones of my voice and David's voice, or my pretty face and David's not so pretty face. Anyways, digressing, we not only we are on YouTube, we are on Spotify, we're on Rumble, we're on Google, Apple Podcast. We have a TikTok page. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and of course Facebook. So if you find yourself fuckery deprived, curl up with a nice hot mug of shut the fuck up and just listen. Open those ear holes and be prepared to be cream pied like it's the first time. Thanks for listening.
Welcome, Angry Faithful. Today on Nerd Sport 76, we're going to talk about the good old days of toe wrestling. I actually have that. It's like arm wrestling, but with toes. So there's that. Wield. Anyways.
What kind of a flex is that, man? I mean, it's like, oh,
dude, well, it's the OnlyFans flex because you know they're on fucking OnlyFans and people are like paying their subscription and everything.
You train for that too. Like, is there a specific exercise regimen that you do to deck toes?
And
dude, could you imagine a ballerina though?
What's ballerina with like under on the ratio of or the occurrences of ringworm in that sport?
That's true too.
You know, every single one of them has athlete's foot too, because that shit is that.
Can you imagine the calluses that a toe wrestler have?
Yeah, because they gotta like lift. What do you do with like lifting weight? Well, yeah, I mean,
see, you would get like little string, and then you just put that on your toe. You lay down on your belly, and you just do curls.
Unlike David,
if they only bend one way, there's not a lot of different exercises you can do with it.
Unlike David, who the only time he gets to curl a woman's toes is when he forgets to take off her pantyhose.
That's how it's going to go today. This is what we're doing today.
This is what we're going to do. We're going to fight.
That's what we're doing. Okay.
It's good to know. Is that what we chose violence today, huh?
No, yeah. I mean, Vladimir Putin's threatening nuclear war, so why not? Let's choose violence today.
Yeah, he's blowing up his own pipeline too.
Yes,
right.
But, well, no. What's really strange is those pipelines has been decommissioned for a while, though.
No, it hasn't.
The first two, yeah, they were. One of them was decommissioned.
First two, no, but this was the new one.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? This was I haven't heard anything about the new one.
And it was blown up remotely. And the day that just shortly before it exploded, there was Russian warships spotted in the Baltic Sea.
Is that like, I'm going to teach you guys and you punch yourself in the face?
Yeah.
That's literally how this is playing
possibly. This is the most Russian thing ever where, it's like, how we play Rochambeau and it's like, okay, I get the first hit.
You just punch yourself in your dick.
In Mother Russia, Rochambeau hit you. It's like,
wait a minute, wait. How does that work out for you? I mean,
it's like Russian roulette mixed with Rochambeau.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But yeah, but toe wrestling.
Toe wrestling, yeah, that was the new sport that I found out just 5 seconds ago.
Okay. Well,
is that one of those they show on the Ocho?
Probably.
Yes. And, and I'm willing to bet it's still, there's, somebody on the Ocho in that sport that inspired Lance Armstrong to not quit.
Such an inspirational story. You haven't made it until you get a movie made about it, though.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, what would you call the Lance Armstrong story? The One Nut Wonder?
No, that'll be Hitler.
Oh.
That's going on TikTok.
To be fair, Hitler probably did wear that mustache better than anybody else in history.
I don't know. I like Charlie Chaplin a little bit better.
I'm going to figure out the ins and outs of how to take that that German movie. What was the I forget the name of it. It's they cut it up all the time and they rework the subtitles.
Oh, oh man. I keep wanting to say The Last Days of Hitler, but I know that ain't it.
The one with Charlie Chaplin in it?
No. It's fairly recent.
Yeah, I mean, it came out in
the meme. It's
that one where you just like pull. He grabs his
glasses
off, and he's just shaking and everything, going.
Yeah. Well,
it might be The Last Day of Hitler's.
No, it's not. It starts with a B. I think it's Blitzkrieg or something like that. Anyways, Aaron Judge has finally done it. He went on a little bit of a drought after he tied Roger Maris for 61 for a single season home run record in the American League. And tonight in Arlington, Texas, in front of the half full house, which I'm sure it was probably sold out tonight, considering what was up for, what was up to, for grabs.
Yeah, because the last ball went up for like $3 million.
No, it didn't. The 61, the record tying ball, he hit it into the Blue Jays dugout. I mean, a bullpen, and that made it back to Aaron Judge, and he gave that to his mom. If the person who caught number 62, though.
No, I'm talking about the one from last year.
No, you were probably remembering that you were looking at the story of the guy who caught Mark McGwire's 62
yes,
ball.
That one.
Yeah. See, the thing about that is that, he was being offered all of these different incentives from the Cardinals themselves. And he wanted
all he wanted was he just wanted a photo, and Mark McGwire just told him to go fuck off. So
Mark McGwire was like, "Yeah, no, that's not about my life, right?" So the guy backed out of the deal and sold the ball the following week for $3 million. I don't know, man.
That's like winning a lottery ticket now.
I like Mark McGwire and everything, but because Mark McGwire, I don't know if he actually roided up, because I remember he popped hot for Androstein, which at the time I was taking Androstein also because it was over the counter. It wasn't an anabolic steroid. It was like a synthetic, and it was an alternative. And, you didn't have to cycle on it like you do steroids. So, but apparently it was on the banned list. Now, should he have known? Yeah. Was everybody else doing it? Probably. Do I think not Mark McGwire, but like Roger Clemens and Barry Bonds, do they belong in the Hall of Fame? Roger Clemens, yeah, because Roger Clemens was doing the rocket thing before he started juicing. He didn't start juicing until he got to the Yankees. But Barry Bonds, absolutely not. I mean, if you look at pictures of this guy, his rookie year, the dude was maybe a $175 soaking wet, and then when he got to the Giants, the dude was just bulked up. I mean, there's no way.
Forearms were the size of my biceps. Like they were ridiculous.
Right.
Now they just
Now
how
they
do
can
they
make the
check for
argument
steroids?
that they can make the argument that he still had to have the skill to hit the ball, considering that there were pitchers out there juicing as well. But I don't know, man. It's just kind of like
So
baseball.
how do they check for the steroids though? Is it
It's blood tests, urine tests, stuff like
Oh.
that.
I figure they just like
Professional sports
measure their
just-
dick before they go in, and if they like if the dick.
Well, if that were the case, and you were a professional baseball
Fuck
player,
yeah, I should be. I'm like super huge.
steroids makes your dick shrink.
Yeah.
So you would constantly be getting suspended because of your micro penis.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. I was trying to play that joke, and it worked. I laughed a little bit, and Johnny kind of just slapped me like a little bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Johnny.
You're used to it by now.
I know.
That's how most of your jokes go.
I know, right?
Well,
Next time, I'm gonna. Oh, dude, I'm gonna get that on the soundboard. Just do the.
oh, my pussy. Yeah. Well, so tonight in Arlington, Aaron Judge led off game 2 of the doubleheader in Texas. He led off the game with the home run.
From what they're saying today on Drinking Bros was as soon as they make their big hit, they take them off.
Well,
is that true?
He's still contending for the Triple Crown, and he struck out 3 times yesterday, so his batting average slipped a little bit. Right now, as of right now, through the first game of their doubleheader today that they had in Texas, he's trailing the batting title or the batting average battle behind Luis Arraez or Arraez. There we go. Because he's hitting 315, and right now Judge is hitting 310. So he's like right behind him. I mean, he just needs maybe a couple of base hits. The guy in front of him's got to maybe, he's got to fly out or he's got to strike out a couple of times. Tomorrow is the last day of the regular season. Now,
but the Yankees are out, so this is the last game.
No, they're not.
They're not out.
Division. They won their division, and they got a first round bye. Now they don't have home field throughout the American League playoffs because that distinction belongs to the Houston Astros. But they clinched their division. They're going to the playoffs. And right now, I mean, we're looking at he's this close to being a Triple Crown winner. So unless they took Luis Arraez out of the lineup to protect his batting average, which it's not uncommon, but let me see if I can find let me see your scores. Let me look here. Right now, Judge is batting 311.
Okay.
That's with one at bat through this game right now. He's 1 for 1. So he's batting .311. And let's see, they just finished the third. So he's due up next inning. He's due up in the fourth. Yeah. I think. Let's see here. Josh Donaldson. So
Well,
he's either due up in the fourth or he's due up in the fifth. But he's still got some work to do. So tomorrow the Yankees play at 3:05 our time in Arlington. So more than likely he will finish out tonight's game and start tomorrow, because he needs as many at bats as possible in order to get his average up. Now he also needs some help from Luis Arraez to strike out or hit into some outs. Either the fly out or he grounds out, or hell, at this point, even walking the guy is going to lower his average, because you can only get away with 1-3 walk before it hurts your average. So, but we'll see. What I love about the last day of the regular season is that baseball has every team start within 5 minutes of each other, usually. And that goes back.
Why is that? Is that
because back in, was it a few years ago? And this was specific. A few years ago, the Cardinals they had their division handled, and they were deciding as to whether or not they needed to start Adam Wainwright on the last day of the season, or they needed to hold him to start the first game of the playoffs.
Okay.
And so what happened is that the team that was in second place played earlier in the day. They lost their game. So at that point, St. Louis didn't need to start Wainwright.
What was that, Chris?
I said they could make their adjustment at that point.
Yeah, they could make their adjustment. And so that affected the way that the playoff rotations were sorted. And so that gave whatever team that played later in the day an unfair advantage going into the playoffs. And so baseball said, we're going to stop all that. And they said, all right, there is a consistent starting time across the major leagues, and it doesn't matter what time zone you're playing in, everybody's game starts within 5 to 10 minutes of each other. And that was one of the rule changes that I absolutely love. And that's because when you're going into the playoffs, whether you go into the playoffs limping because you just happen to string together a bunch of losses, or you're going in on a hot streak because you're on the other side of the win-loss column. So I think everybody needs equal footing when you go into the playoffs, because at that point, everybody's record is now 0-0. So I like that rule. Unlike the rule changes for next year, where the bases are going to be bigger, I am a fan of the fact that they took away the shift.
What's the shift?
Depending on, so like if you're a pull hitter, like say if you're left-handed, you're pull hitting you're hitting it to right field, right? Conversely, if you're a right-hand hitter, you pull it and you're hitting it to left field. That's just your natural power side, right?
Yeah.
What a lot of defenses will do is they will shift their defense over to that side. So that way, normally you've got a first baseman and second baseman on the right-hand side of the diamond, shortstop and third are over on the left. Well, what the shift started to do is move the shortstop over to play second base, and the second baseman would go out to shallow to mid-depth right field to take away base hits.
Okay.
And so, I mean, you would get those like true hitters, and they would hit it they'd hit it the opposite direction. Or, every once in a while you'd see a guy that goes, well, you know what? There's literally nobody standing over there on the third baseline, and he would lay down a bunt and then basically get an infield single off of a bunt because the ball rolls all the way to third base and nobody's there to grab it. So if you take away the shifts, you start to see more of a true straight up defensive alignment. All the infielders have to have their feet on the infield dirt. They can't be playing shallow outfield anymore.
Nope.
You're going to start to see batting averages go up next year, and you're going to start seeing less and less of the no-hitter or the potential no-hit bids. Hold on a second. I got to let this damn cat out of here. Hold on.
Oh, did you check out the greatest beer run ever?
No, I haven't watched it yet. I was wanting to.
Have you, Chris?
Yeah, I haven't watched it, but I'm familiar with the story.
Dude, that was a good movie.
Very familiar with it. Yeah,
it is a very, very good movie.
Good. I'm glad that somebody checked it out. I have to apparently watch Hocus Pocus 2 strictly for the purpose of the fact that
you're married?
Well, my wife has already watched it. She watched it on Friday. But there is a Samuel Skelton High School mentioned in this movie.
Okay.
Well, and why that's relevant is that whenever Mindy and I went up to Boston last November, where I proposed to her, we went to Salem. We caught the train and we went to Salem for the day. And the oldest congregational church in America is in Salem. And the first reverend, the first pastor of the first church, congregational church, was Reverend Samuel Skelton.
Oh, okay.
And this predates a lot of the earliest recorded appearances of Skeltons in the American continent by 40 or 50 years, I think. But so that was kind of cool for me, kind of seeing, my family's name there, where the founding of the country occurred. And because honestly, I had zero intention of watching this movie.
It is one of those moments you're like, they had this. Oh, fucking hell. I'm gonna watch that shit.
Right. Yes. Now I'm like, oh, I have to watch this now.
Well, it's like
I'll watch it, but I'll watch it under protest. But
it's like, what was that Chris Pratt and Tom Hardy movie about them being spies and everything? The Rules of War and shit like that. Art of War. That's what it was called. Well, the only reason why
This is War was Tom Hardy and Chris Pine.
Yeah, Chris Pine. Yeah.
I knew.
Anyways, there's a guy in there. There's a guy that helps out either Chris Pine's character or Tom Hardy's character. His last name's Dickerman. That's the only reason why I was like, "Ooh, that's a."
Yeah, I defy you to find a movie with anybody named Jacka. Good luck.
Fucking make it. How?
It'll be the Chris Jacka story, and underneath sometimes "told you so."
Yeah.
Right. But there has to be certain rules and stipulations. There can't be any stepmothers, stepsisters,
I'm out. You're done. You lost me already. Right off the bat, you lost me. I'm
right?
telling you.
And
And
nobody
they can't be trapped.
and nobody can be trapped in a couch, under the bed, or in a dryer.
Washer. What about the dishwasher?
He didn't say dishwasher. Don't get any fucking idea.
I know, right?
Idea.
Garbage
At the
disposal.
risk-
There's
at the risk of-
plenty of
Wait a
At
minute.
the risk
Wait a
of
minute.
at the risk of catching hell from our female listeners, if they're trapped in the dishwasher, wouldn't that involve a threesome? Because if your stepsister's trapped in the dishwasher,
now it's a movie.
No, now it's I'm
Yeah.
trapped in the dishwasher.
That's a whole other problem to have.
so we could get Rick Moranis to come out of retirement for this. Honey, I'm trapped in the dishwasher.
Hell yeah, I'd pay to see that.
Yeah.
Right? And you can always talk about how he always hates it when he gets his Schwartz twisted.
Yeah, have the theme song be "Run Through the Jungle."
I would pay big money for that.
Thank you for getting that.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here first. And if anybody out there decides to make that movie, make your royalty checks payable, well, hell to the three of us.
There you go. I expect at least an executive producer credit.
Yeah, I would take that.
Or a speaking role.
Oh, that too, because then you get residuals off of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then we could be like all those child actors from the 80s and 90s where they do TikToks about, now we get to play, what are we eating for dinner? And then they fan out their royalty checks, and they go and they randomly pick one.
I would be the one. I'd be going over to every con that's in everywhere, setting up a table and selling autographs there, just based off of my one speaking line in one movie that nobody's ever watched. I would still be right there. I'd set up a banner.
I mean, there are people that actually legitimately do that.
100%.
Yeah.
Dude, what was that? What was that Ranger that he had? He played the
It was a
Platinum Ranger and one of the
he was the White
what is it?
Ranger or some shit
no,
like
he was
that.
a platinum. He was a Platinum Ranger. Justin was the name. The only reason why I remember that is because his actual job now, he has a rent to own business in Duncan, Oklahoma called Just in Time. Fucking shit you not. I took him out to eat because he was on the podcast. I was like, man,
Yeah.
I'll take you and your wife to eat. No big deal. Being on the podcast.
Now, bear in mind, Chris, this is his second wife because he said his first wife told him to get a real job and that nobody really cares that he was a Power Ranger.
Yeah.
Yeah. She goes, I don't know why you go to those things. Nobody wants your autograph because they don't care.
Dude, they have like
the "What have you done for me lately?"
yeah, that type of thing.
Right, exactly. But I don't know. So, but moving on to football.
Okay. Anthony, what was his name?
Anthony Brown. Yeah.
Anthony Brown.
Got caught on video visiting Dubai, whipping his dick out and assaulting a female at a pool.
How is he not arrested?
This
You're in
dude-
Dubai.
Yeah, he's
This
in
dude,
fucking
all
Dubai.
jokes aside, this guy has got some serious mental health issues and he needs help.
No, the reason why I asked is how is he not arrested? Because Dubai has like very strict fucking laws.
Yeah, but it's Dubai and money talks.
It's also a Muslim country.
Oh yeah, it was just a woman here.
So, there's a lot of ins and outs behind that. I think that he's still got the wrong kind of people around him influencing him. His mental health needs to be addressed.
What did he do last year? He did something fucked off last year too, didn't he?
Yeah, dude, he took off his jersey and quit in the middle of a damn game.
Yeah.
He threw his receiving gloves into the crowd, flipped everybody the bird. He's waving the towel around. He's walking around like he just won the Super Bowl, while they're at the Meadowlands during a Jets game. And it's like, why? Because the coach told him to go sit down,
Yeah.
you know? And
He
I'm just
really
like, and then not even 5 days later, he's throwing Tom Brady under the bus when Tom Brady pulled this dude out of a dumpster and said, I want you playing with me because I think you deserve a chance.
Yeah.
And unless I'm mistaken, Tom Brady even invited this guy to stay at his house during the season.
Oh, I'm gonna check that out real quick. Wait.
And so I'm just like, but the Dolphins, I'm telling you, guy, oh man, the Dolphins screwed the ever loving pooch with Tua Tagovailoa. I cannot pronounce this guy's last name. Tua. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
All right. So they've even launched an investigation between the NFL and the Players Association. They've even launched an investigation into that. He exited a game back on the 25th of last month against Buffalo. And it was in the first half. Now, he has sustained a head injury when Matt Milano, the linebacker for Buffalo, hit him. And he was flagged for roughing the passer. But, Tua got back on his feet, shook his head, and stumbled as he began to trot forward. But they took him out of the game. Then they cleared him for play in the second half.
Yeah, Anthony Brown. Tom Brady lets Anthony Brown stay at his house.
Yeah. So, but now the following week, they go to play in Cincinnati. Now, Josh Tupou, defensive tackle for the Bengals, spins him down. Didn't necessarily look like a vicious hit. It just looked more like he wrapped him up and just kind of spun him down. Mm. Well, when he did, Tua hit the back of his head on the turf. And if you saw the video, man, his fingers were just like locked up.
But you saw even in the second half of that Bills game, like he was stumbling. He would just randomly, his knees would just give out. Like he was not at all.
And so
it honestly, it kind of looks like to the fact of, I seen one video that had to help him go towards where the area that he needed to go to because he was losing his fucking way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was completely disoriented, discombobulated, whole 9 yards.
They need to treat him like Billy Bob, and bring him back into the, let him sit on the bench for a while and get a head checked out.
Well, he's officially in concussion protocol now.
He should have been there a couple of weeks ago.
True. Yeah. No, he should have been there last week. But with that being said, somebody's head needs to roll for this. If not,
it already has. Well, see that the neurologist already got the shit canned.
Yeah.
Really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and he's just the scapegoat at this point. But there are other people in line
further up in the organization.
The Miami needs personal trainers. They should have all stepped up and said, "Hey, look, we don't think that he's ready." Because normally when you enter concussion, the concussion protocol, you have your helmet taken away from you.
Yeah,
Tua's helmet was never taken away from him. So the personal trainers, the equipment staff, the head coach, I mean, these people need to be fined heavily, if not fired. Because at this point, with the type of concussion and neurological damage that he had experienced the week before during the game with Buffalo, it was compounded when he was sacked during the Bengal game. That's the kind of thing that makes those things permanent. We're talking about potential TBI here. And he may never be right. I mean, he may never be right again.
Yeah, it's almost guaranteed he's full on TBI.
Yeah. So
he's going to have to use a fucking GPS to get to his house.
When you lose motor control, the way that he did, on the ground. I mean,
Yeah.
he's like
No,
this.
it was. He 100%.
And I'm like, it hurt my hands just looking at the position some of his fingers were taking. And I'm like,
yeah,
I
he
can't
was
even,
totally locked up too. Like he
yeah,
was not moving at all.
Yeah,
yeah.
I
I mean,
re-looked at the videos and everything, and
they had to get the backboard out on him, and they braced him up, and they carted him. I mean, dude, there was like what a 25-30 minute delay in the game.
Yeah.
You know, because they're trying to do what they need to do to get him off the field. But and I'm just sitting there going, good Lord,
It was hard to watch.
It was hard to watch, and I'm not a Tua fan. I'm not a Dolphin fan, but I understand from the human aspect, from the human side of things, that it's like these guys, we want to bitch and complain about pro athletes jacking ticket prices up because of the size of their contracts. And, it's like, okay, that there's inherent dangers when you sign up to play the game that you're playing for a living. But on the backside of it, those inherent dangers could be life-threatening, career-ending. They could be substantial for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
But you also expect the back office to have your back and be
the head office, the front
that
office
care
needs
to be in place. Yeah, you need to be able to trust the staff is going to take care of you if something like this happens. And there's protocols in place, like there's supposed to be. That's why the Players Association is throwing such a fit, because there's supposed to be these protocols in place that are supposed to stop all this from happening. And they just, every roadblock that was put in place was just mowed right through.
Yeah, exactly. And it goes into anything that has when you have like a job that the likelihood of you damaging your head is a constant.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, military, hockey, anytime that you actually like oil field workers, any kind of stuff like that, construction workers. I mean, anything that gives you a concussion where afterwards you might actually you'll have to use like a GPS to get home. You're drooling on your fucking lip half the fucking time because
I've had 5 concussions so far. And, if it wasn't for the fact that, I'm going through chiropractic treatment and my chiropractor's making those adjustments to my neck, dude, David, you can attest to this. I have had migraines that last for days, and it affects your quality of life. And
I mean, we had to not do a couple of shows only because you were like down and out.
Yeah, and I mean it's debilitating, and it takes away from your quality of life. But the Players Association and the league came to an agreement on Saturday. They updated the concussion protocol that rules out players who exhibit gross motor instability, as Tua did during the Dolphins game against the Bills, regardless of any possible contributing factors. So if you're stumbling around or you appear like you're just out of it, you're out.
100%.
And I'm 100% behind that, because I remember hearing somewhere, I forget where it was, the average of NFL players who are dependent upon painkillers after retiring from the league is 50%.
I thought it was larger than that.
It's depending on who you read the study from, it's anywhere from 50 to 75%.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, that's just rough, and when you had people like Junior Seau, he committed suicide because of all the concussions and the neurological problems that he was having. He killed himself.
Yeah.
because of it, because he couldn't take it.
Yeah.
Now, and this is why, like, I'm racing fan, Earnhardt Jr. fan. As much as I hated seeing Dale Earnhardt Jr. retire, I think that when he took time away from the car the season before he retired, I think that was brave. I think it was very pioneering, because he just wasn't the same. He wasn't making good decisions. And I mean, all it would have taken is for him to pancake his car into the retaining or the safer barrier, to just jar his head in the right way, and we could be talking about two Earnhardts having lost their lives on the track.
Yeah.
If you read his book, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but he goes into an in-depth, and he even did an episode on the Joe Rogan Experience about his concussion experiences.
Yeah, I watched that episode. It was a good episode.
Yeah, he went to Pittsburgh and he saw the specialist up there, and I mean, even today, he still, I'm sure, has to do exercises at home to train his eyes. I'm sure, but he and you're seeing more and more of it now, especially this season with Kurt Busch still out of the car because of the concussion symptoms that he's dealing with. And just is kind of, I'm going to cut the segue off before we get too far into the NASCAR stuff, but I'll come back to it when we actually get to NASCAR stuff. But with what happened to Tua over the weekend is just absolutely unnecessary. It could have been avoided. And the fact that the hit that he took in Cincinnati, while it in real time and even slowed down didn't appear to be that bad of a hit, as compared to the violent dissipation of energy that is involved with a normal NFL tackle.
I'm trying to find the doctor's name. Dr. Bennett Omutel.
Yeah, see the article on NFL.com just he was an unaffiliated neurotrauma consultant involved with Tua's concussion check during week 3 during the game against Buffalo, citing a failure to understand his role as the UNC in hostility during the investigation process among the factors contributing to his dismissal. So this guy still, even to that point, is defending his position, saying, I thought he was clear to go. So that's either Tua saying that he was good to go and he faked it until he made it, or the NFL's concussion protocol rules that were outlined for this doctor to follow were just vastly lacking. Do I think?
Yeah, because no one,
the buck still needed to stop with him. It started with him, because he could have made the professional judgment to say, hey, look, I know that he meets the criteria to go back into the game, but I feel that at this point, my professional opinion, I don't think
last week's game, he was clearly more or less walking around like he was incoherent.
And I wonder if he didn't see that video. I wonder if that wasn't showed to him. And I wonder if he would have seen his condition on the field, if that would have changed his decision at all.
Yeah,
because like you said, he's showing, if you could say whatever, and if you're not showing that you're that bad during his initial examination, I mean, obviously we're a bunch of amateurs here. We can see that there was something not right there.
Yeah,
obviously, if with his training and his education, he had to have known that what was going on there if he would have seen the video. That makes me think that he wasn't shown.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So,
but
on something like,
you go ahead.
On something like this, though, I mean, even the coach should have seen what was happening and pulled them off.
Exactly, which is
somebody should
my
have
earlier point. Somebody else needs to be held accountable for this, because ultimately, if the team is doing bad, who's the first person that gets fired? The head coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Conversely, and at the same time, the head coach needs to be ultimately not only responsible but for the performance of the players and the team as a whole, but he needs to be held responsible for the safety of his players. And with the technology you've seen some of these new helmets that some of the players are wearing this year. The face masks are almost integrated. It almost looks like a single piece helmet.
Right.
Like medieval shit.
Well, yeah, they're very sleek. The materials are getting lighter. The padding technology is becoming better, but the players are getting faster, and they're bigger, and they're hitting harder. So, it's when you're talking about the safety of the athlete, whether they're baseball, football, basketball, race car drivers, golfers, whatever. I think that the speed of the games or the chosen sports are outpacing the advancements in technology. And you almost kind of have to wonder how much of that is the players not being given access to the newest, latest, and greatest because of cost. And we could sit here and we could be belligerent all day long, and we could talk about, we'll just let every one of them juice up and see who can go the longest until their heart explodes. Or we could say, look, these guys are human beings. No, I don't agree with the fact that they're going after the largest contracts possible, making the game almost damn near unaffordable for average Joes like you and I.
Yeah. But
at the same time, these guys are not meat. They are human beings, and they're there doing a job.
Yeah, and
their job is competition, and their job ultimately is entertainment. But
another thing that's really sad is the basic fact of when someone goes out and they make a new ruling for like safety reasons, and a lot of people that are just viewing this, they go out and it's like, oh, fucking pussies. Remember the back in the day, they would like break arms and everything like that and go back to the field. I was like,
yeah, but have you talked to any of the old timers? A lot of the old timers mumble, they stutter, they've got they've got mental.
Look at okay. The best example is that dude from Death to Smoochie, the boxer.
Yeah,
where he's like, hey, Smoochie. Jesus fucking Christ, and that fucking happens. It's a laughable moment now, but some of those football players are just. I met like one of them, and he was like, it was like talking to a child, and it was sad because
there was a joke that went around there for a while. It was like everybody wanted to meet Muhammad Ali before he died, and it's like, if you wanted to talk to Muhammad Ali, just go to the produce section in the grocery store and pick up a kumquat,
dude. Okay. Sad moment. I went up to one of the cons, and I went to go. They had the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Everybody was there. Okay, including Tim Curry. I love fucking Tim Curry. I can do his laugh a little bit. Fucking awesome. Well, I was in line to get an autograph from Meatloaf, and one of the guys behind me was like, "Hey, look, I got my picture taken with Tim Curry." Tim Curry was sitting in a wheelchair because he just had a stroke in like 2015, and he was like, I was like, well, I guess I'm not going to get a fucking photo of Tim Curry.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's literally, because I was like wondering of getting like an autograph and everything from him, and they're like, oh, they're gonna you pay for it and they send it to your address. I was like, why the fuck are they doing that? Then I looked it up. I was like, he's here And I'm like looking at all the stuff that, I mean, it's literally like toting around a goddamn fucking statue.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
He's centerpiece.
exactly. That's it was like I have a Stan Lee story from a guy that had I knew a guy that what he does in Japan is he just takes celebrities around Japan. Okay. He's the interpreter, and he it's a meet and greet, and he meets everybody. So he had like he had a tote around Stan Lee. I was like, oh dude, that's fucking awesome. He's like, no, it wasn't. I was about to kill his manager. I was like, why? What had happened is the manager took Stan Lee's hotel room, which was like the big room, and the manager put Stan Lee into his room, which is like a small one.
Yeah.
And he eventually had the Tokyo Giants come in, and the whole fucking team was about to beat this fucking manager's ass. So all that shit that happened, like at the end of his life about his manager and everything, I knew that fucking shit happened like 2 years beforehand. And I talked to like Kevin Smith about it. It's like, hey, Kevin, I hate to do this to you. Can me and you like talk for a second? It's about Stan Lee. I was like, oh, it's a Stan Lee story. You know, you just meet. I was like, no, this happened. And he's like, I'm going to go check up on this. I mean, it was just so happened. I met Stan Lee and Kevin Smith the same day, but I ended up talking to him. I was like, hey, dude, he was just in Japan and this happened.
Yeah.
And he's like, let me check up on this shit. And I didn't hear any. I heard like, I wish someone told me. I guess Kevin was like really, really stoned that day. But a lot of the times
yeah.
A lot of the times though, they just they're props. That's all they want these players to be half the time when they have to be like safeguarded. They're just props to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand that.
Yeah, pieces of meat that generate revenue.
Exactly.
Yeah. But so let's just move on to the scores from last week. The Bengals ended up beating the Dolphins 27-15. Now, I didn't make any picks for this past week.
You're lacking on the picks.
I know, man.
We haven't done our picks this year.
I'll do them tonight. We'll do them tonight.
Okay. You have access, so I don't know why.
I know. Well, okay. So before we get into that,
I'm still surprised about the Cowboys.
Before it gets too late, and before we go anywhere close to those, we have one little installment that we have to do.
Okay, while he's getting Colin on and everything like that. I had a talk with Kurt for the Vet Fest DFW. Apparently, I talked to Kurt about it. Apparently, there's like a shit ton of those Vet Fests.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Dude, I've had like 2 or 3 different ones reach out to me already.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently that's a thing. They're all up there in the North Texas area too.
I know the one in Georgetown, but that's over by Austin.
Mm-hmm. The ones that have been reached out to me are over in the Dallas area.
Yeah, Kurt's telling me that. Really, Dallas area?
Well, there was one that was. I'm trying to remember exactly which specific suburb it is, but like I said, I'm that North Texas area.
There's. I mean, I wanted you to like do an incognito on this one because it's one of those things that and I'll talk to you about it afterwards. Mm-hmm. Just go up there and hang out with me and everything and help me do, because they have the dude from like that played some kind of role with Steven Seagal, and that's like the beginning of November.
That be nuts. Can you
But
imagine?
they have
All right, here we go.
okay. Johnny's gone.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey. Okay, so Colin is he's not on FaceTime right now. Yes, I am. Why am I fuzzed out? That's weird. But okay. Um it paused my camera.
I know it paused your camera. It's for your safety, I guess.
No, it's not. It's because I'm making a normal phone call as opposed to a FaceTime call.
Yeah.
Because our host of Joke Time with Colin informed me that he is sitting on the toilet pooping right now.
Oh.
So, all right, so here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, angry faithful, it's that time once again where we ask you to sit back, relax, make sure your tray tables are in their upright positions, and enjoy the inevitable crash landing in all of its beauty. It's Joke Time with Colin. Go for it, bud.
What did Secretary say at the sperm bank? Thank you for coming.
Wait. Back up and say that again.
What did the receptary
The secretary?
say at the sperm? Yeah.
Okay, what did the secretary say to the sperm?
bank.
Say at the sperm bank? Okay, what?
Yeah. Thank you for coming. Wow. Okay.
Okay.
That's
All
just
right,
good
bud.
customer
Well,
service.
There.
get done doing what you're doing, get in the shower, and I'll call you tomorrow, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Love you, bud.
Love you.
Later.
It's fucking hilarious.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the beautiful travesty, much like the Hindenburg, or every airliner that has ever crashed, minus the ones on 9/11, that is. It's a beautiful train wreck. But that is my genetic code on display for your eyes and your ear holes. I hope that it left you weary, tired, worn out, and exhausted.
It's not as
Emotionally drained is the word I would use.
Emotionally drained.
It's almost as bad.
That's my genetic code.
It's almost
Ladies
as bad as
and
the
gentlemen, well.
it's almost as bad as the joke that I heard today. Are you
Well, what's sad is the fact is that I gave him a joke earlier over the weekend. Yesterday, as a matter of fact, I sent him a joke. I'm like, hey, maybe he could use this one. No. What did the secretary say at the sperm bank? Thank you for coming.
And like, that's not that good. We're gonna ruin this. I seen one today. It was are you 7-Eleven brown or 9/11 brown?
Okay, David, I'm going to say this to you, and I know Chris is going to understand it when I say it, but halas halan. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Okay.
Moving on with the scores.
Bringing
The Vikings beat the Saints. The Browns are going to screw around and they're going to impress people this year. They barely lost to the Falcons 23-20. The Bills overcame the Ravens 23-20. The Washington Commanders, no, not the Washington State Commanders, no, not the Walla Walla Washington Commanders, but the District of Columbia Washington Commanders strolled in to AT&T Stadium thinking the debut of their black on gold uniforms, their restyling, their rebranding was going to come in and wow the Silver Star faithful. Well, Cooper Rush managed to do what no Cowboys quarterback has ever done in the history of the franchise, and that is win their their first 4 starts. Do I think that Cooper Rush is Brady 2.0? No. Why? Because, well, to quote the Wolf in Pulp Fiction, let's not just go start sucking each other's dicks quite yet. Okay.
There's a meme going out, and it's like a Anakin Skywalker, and he's Cooper. And
yes, that was a TikTok video. I saw that today. I was so impressed with it. Little sidetrack. I saw a video. There where Ewan McGregor was walking down a red carpet or something like that for a premiere, and a fan yelled out at him, "Can you please sign my hat? I had Christian Haydenson sign it yesterday."
Yes.
Haydenson signed my hat yesterday. I need you to sign my hat. And he calls the guy over. And he's like, "Oh, give him the gold Sharpie." I handed him the gold Sharpie. And he goes, Where's his signature? And he goes, "He said it's on the front." And he goes, "Okay, I just need to find it. Can I sign above him?" And he was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Because I'm trying to get the high ground on him." Above Christian Hayden, right on top of him. And he's like, "Hello there." And I'm like, "Oh, that's so great."
It was great.
And there's rumor, I don't know if it's true, if it was just a meme, but Scotland renamed its highest peak to either after Ewan McGregor or after Obi-Wan Kenobi. So that way he would always have the high ground.
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
That's great.
I'm like, oh,
I want that to be true.
I so want that to be true.
I'm Googling it right now.
I know that Ewan McGregor's younger brother is a pilot in the RAF, and his call sign was Obi-2.
Obi-2. Yep.
Because his brother played.
His uncle was in the original trilogy, right? His uncle was with
Wedge
Antilles.
Yeah.
Did you know he told Sir Alec Guinness? He had talked to Ewan when Ewan was up auditioning for Obi-Wan. He had met Sir Alec Guinness, and he told him not to do it. He said, "Don't do it. You don't want this movie." He said the Star Wars movies, it's dribble, it's trash. It's gonna drag you down. It's gonna anchor you. You're never gonna get a good role after this. Like it's gonna ruin your career. And he ended up doing it anyways, and then you see what happened. But Sir Alec Guinness told him not to get it.
Okay. There's a petition. To get Ewan McGregor Obi-Wan statue placed on the highest point.
Oh, there you go.
On the mountain.
I need that to be a thing.
I need to find that petition.
I need that to be a thing, because you are going to start seeing, and I'm calling it now, you're going to start seeing people showing up, and there's going to be pictures scattered across the internet of people with the pose,
No. Okay, it is real. Scotland's tallest mountain to be renamed Kenobi in honor of Ewan McGregor.
Yes.
There we go. Yes. Gotta go to Scotland.
Go to Scotland, boys. Angry Me Production meets Scotland. Oh my God! Somebody tell the Scots we're coming.
I know, right? I'm going there.
The Detroit Lions have already won one game this year.
One whole game.
Wait, this is week 4 now. We're going into week 5, but the Lions are going to surprise some people this year. They're rebuilding. They're finally getting that young core, and they're getting players to buy into the system to where they want to play there.
Did they even make the playoffs last year?
No. But they played. Seattle came into their house and squeaked out of there with a 3-point victory. 48-45 against the Seattle Seahawks.
I should have never got that high in score.
No, they should have never gotten that high, and the Seahawks should have run away with that game. The Chargers.
Well,
the Texans. The Texans are now 0-3-1. I don't know I don't know what to say about the Texans, man. I really don't. The Titans beat the Colts. Honestly, I think I would have had that going the other way, but the Giants are they beat the Bears barely 20-12. The Jaguars lost to the Eagles 21-29. The Jets, Jets, Jets. They beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh 24-20. The Cardinals over the Panthers 26-16. The Patriots lost by a field goal to the Packers 24-27. The Broncos lost to the Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, at home 23-32. The Chiefs beat the Buccaneers 41-31. Is this going to be, I don't know, people are going to call this, oh, it was a passing of the torch game, blah, blah, blah. It's a Super Bowl rematch. Well, you could say it's a Super Bowl rematch in name only. Truth of the matter is that both teams are completely different.
Yeah, because a lot of players from a lot of the other players from LA, they left the team afterwards.
LA, we're talking about the Chiefs and the Buccaneers. You're talking about LA?
Oh, I thought they were talking about LA from this. God damn it.
Did you pick up on what I was doing, Chris? Playoffs? You're talking about no playoffs?
Playoffs.
Man.
Playoffs. Practice?
Okay. Right. And then last night, I did not see this one coming, but the Rams lost to the 49ers 24-9 in San Francisco. Yeah. I mean, yeah. But all right, so let's do this. Week 5. Let me get. I never have a damn pen when I need one.
There you go.
It's a wonderful thing.
Bite your finger and write blood.
Oh, look at that. Okay. Okay. All right. So Thursday night, we're looking at Indianapolis over there against the Broncos. They're playing in Mile High. Oh, you know what? We're going to take Denver over Indy on that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're looking at the 3-1 Giants visiting the Tundra. They're going to Green Bay to play the Packers, who are also 3-1. The Giants have a quarterback issue going on right now because they put their running back in as an emergency quarterback. So unless something happens, I'm taking the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to take Green Bay over New York on that one. The Steelers at the Bills. We're going to take Buffalo over Pittsburgh. That's kind of a no-brainer. Okay, now we're looking at the Chargers at the Browns. Now, with the way that the Browns have been playing lately, I say we're going to take this one as our upset pick. I'm going to take Cleveland over Los Angeles. I mean, it's a bold move, Cotton. So we'll see how it plays out. This one's
going to work that way, but it's an interesting pick.
Hey, I mean, if Average Joe's can beat Globo Jim on the Ocho, right? Here's the no-brainer pick of the week. The 0-3-1 Houston Texans going to the 2-2 Jacksonville Jaguars. We're going to take Jacksonville over Houston on that one.
That's going to be the crap game of the week.
Yeah.
I'm calling it now.
You kind of want to watch. You kind of want to watch that game only because every once in a while you like to go to the school and just
Right? Are we sure there aren't any like teams they could play or something?
Yeah.
Is there a practice squad they could go
exactly. Let's call it the Dallas practice squad. Throw some Texans gear on. and
At least
pull
make
out
it a
the
challenge.
basketball. Right? It's like, come on. Minnesota hosting the Bears. Minnesota's 3-1. The Bears are 2-2. The Bears play kind of flash in the pan, kind of off again, on again. I'm going to take Minnesota over Chicago on that one. And it's almost, and it's more because, I'm looking at it like the Bears have really kind of lost their fundamental base on how to play, ball handling, tackling, just your basics of the game. The Lions at New England.
Ooh.
New England this past week had 5 players, to include their quarterback, Mac Jones, inactive for the game due to injury.
Yeah, but they still get the New England special powers because of the audience.
That's not necessarily true. I mean, even during the days of Tom Brady, Miami would come up there and win in the fucking snow.
No.
Okay. I kind of almost want to take Detroit on that one, guys. I don't know, man. What do you think?
That's a bold move, Cotton.
I received that line. So come up with something else there, Spanky.
All right, fine. Jesus.
All right, come on. Talk me out of this
What the fuck are you thinking?
Yeah, right. Like, talk me out of this pick here, because I'm looking at it.
Lions haven't really had that much of a good team since,
They both got the same record. They're both 1-3 right now.
Yeah, but you're looking at every once in a while the losers can pick up.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what we're talking about.
The last time they were efficient and they had a really good name was because of Axel Foley. Really? That was.
You know what? That joke fell so flat. It reminded me of the scene when Axel Foley got to go into the Playboy Mansion and he's having to smack his dick, going, "Look, man, this is the day that we dreamed of. You need to be awake for this. What are you doing?"
Arguing in the bathroom. Come on, man. Just one time.
One time. Okay, so here's what we're looking at here.
It comes down to coaching. Who's a better coach team?
Well,
Belichick is actually really good.
Belichick.
I'm saying.
All right, so Emperor Belichick, he may be like the ultimate Sith Lord, but the Patriot offense right now is 18th in the league. Okay. They've got the number 10 defense. Detroit's got the number 11th ranked defense right now.
So it's one of those neck and neck games.
But Detroit is 5th in the league in passing. New England's 22nd.
All right, I'll go with Detroit. You got
Detroit ranking 6th in the league in rushing versus 10th in the league with New England. Now, don't get me wrong. Obviously, I'm a New England guy, but I mean,
it's just weird.
Barring,
I can't pick New England over the Lions. I can't pick New England over Detroit, because Detroit's going to remember who they are sooner or later.
Yeah. So, I mean, is that what we're going with? We're going with Detroit over New England, right?
Yeah.
I will agree under protest. I just want to be able to come back next Tuesday and say I told you so.
Well, then
Oregon totally ripped apart, obliviated, saying,
Hey, I mean, if it turns out to where our pick comes out to fruition, or comes to fruition rather, then we'll just be like, I mean, what was it last season, David, that we kept picking the Denver Broncos
Oh
And
yeah, fuck yeah.
every time we would, they would fucking lose. And we're
Yeah.
like, all right, you know what? Screw it. I'm not gonna pick Denver anymore. And then what happens? They win.
They win. Yeah.
You know,
It was,
so
it,
You
was- it
got
was one of the.
death knell for the team. That's
what
what
I
We had to
love-
get, you know what? Maybe we should go like the opposite, just so like we can make bets. Because that was our goal, is actually
that's
make.
what I need to be. I'm here to be your contrarian. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna whatever you guys decide. I need to go the opposite.
Yeah, and
We'll just do that.
and we
I'll
save Chris,
be
and we
I'll
save
be
Chris
my
all
bet.
the monies, and he makes the
throw
bets.
myself.
Yeah.
Right? All right. So the next up that we've got on the docket is the 2-2 Seahawks going to the Saints, who are 1-3. Now, the Saints have got a good running game. Their running back, he's got some skill, man. If you give Jameis Winston a clean pocket, he will pick you apart. Problem is
I'm gonna get that.
that Jameis Winston, under pressure, Jameis Winston cracks easier than the crab shells that he was trying to smuggle out of a restaurant in his pants when he was at Florida State.
Did that fucking really happen?
He got arrested for shoplifting Dungeness crab legs from a grocery store in his pants when he was still going to Florida State.
Dude, have you seen their fucking? Well, they have a thing. Have you seen their fucking cafeteria for their football players?
Which screams, why was he trying to steal Dungeness crab?
Dude, it's
Have you
it's
seen
literally
a Dungeness
five-star
crab?
restaurant.
All it was ask in that cafeteria. They would have given him all he could fucking eat.
Fuck
What?
yeah.
Okay, so
Not the same as having them at home, David.
What?
all right, we're gonna take Seattle over New Orleans.
Agree. No,
Um,
sorry, I gotta go say it. I forgot. I'm the odd man out. Forgot about
That's
that.
not your sole purpose in life. That's not your sole purpose in life. Oh my God. Okay. The Dolphins, the 3-1 Dolphins at the Jets.
I would take the Jets.
The Jets are playing some surprising football this year. So far, I mean, they're 2-2. They're 500. Yeah, we're 4 weeks into the season, and they're playing. They're 2-2. So I mean, they're playing 500, which is technically winning football. The Dolphins are at 3-1. 2 of those victories came with Tua under center. Their backup is good. I mean, on paper, we should take Miami on this one.
But you got to take the emotional toll into account as well, too. Though.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, they're
an emotional team right now.
They are. So this one's going to come back and bite us in the ass. I'm going to take the Jets over Miami.
I agree.
We just made a lot of fucking fans in the New Jersey area. I'm telling you right now.
I say on paper it should be Miami, but I just don't think they're going to have it this week.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay. The Falcons visiting Tom Brady and the Buccaneers.
You gotta go Brady.
I'm taking Brady all day.
Yeah,
Gonna
you gotta
take
go with
Tampa Bay.
Brady.
Now, what's funny about this game is the fact that because of the hurricane damage in Tampa Bay,
yeah.
this home game might actually get played in Minnesota. No, it won't, because Minnesota's playing at home. This might actually get played in Atlanta. I'm not entirely sure. It just depends on what the damage is.
Who's got the bye week this week?
Or
is there a bye week?
No, somebody's got a bye week. I just don't know who.
Wait, keep on talking.
Anyway, we're gonna take Tampa Bay over the ATL. The Titans at the Commanders. Do we take Tennessee on this one?
Is there a way we could do neither? Is that an option?
They're going to play to a tie. Oh, I got to bear witness to the one single solitary tie that this league will see this year. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. I mean, because Chris, I was at that game, right? And we're in overtime, and Indianapolis is driving down the field, and they're setting up for a field goal. I don't want to get into a fight walking out of this stadium. I was wearing my Army jersey, my West Point jersey.
Yeah.
Right? Because I didn't care. It was the jersey from last year's Army Navy game, the 9/11 jersey, because it was 9/11, right?
Yeah.
I was rooting for the Texans that particular game because I didn't want to get into a fist fight because I was trying to get away from a fist fight, right? The Texans give up a 17-point lead to go into overtime. They 3 and out. Indianapolis gets the ball. They drive down the field, and they're setting up for a field goal. I'm sitting there going, you're going to miss this kick, jackass, right? And then just as they snap the ball, I'm yelling at the top of my lungs, laces out, Dan. He misses it wide right. Everybody's looking at me like, oh, my God, dude, you did that. I'm like, don't you fucking put that shit on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't you put that evil energy on me, Ricky Bobby. And when
was that the 64-yard kick?
Yeah.
No.
What?
No. But the Texans get the ball back. They punt it. It was like 4th and 2 or something like that. You're in overtime. Go
for that all day.
They punt it away. And Indianapolis ran the ball. With 45 seconds left, they're running the ball. Like, what are you doing? They just kind of both said, you know what, screw it. We're just going to play to a tie today. They weren't feeling it or something. I don't know. But dude, it is the oddest feeling in the world to walk out of an NFL stadium to complete silence. Neither fan base was talking shit to the other one.
I just kind of want to just put their head down and just walk to the car.
Dude, people were looking at their phones walking down the concourse outside of NRG. And you want to talk about the most well-behaved and orderly evacuation of a parking lot post a sporting event? That was it. I'm like, I'm sitting here thinking to myself, we're going to sit in the parking lot for about an hour, wait for traffic to thin out or whatever. No, the tailgaters packed up their shit and left. There was a guy pulling out of the parking lot, towing a smoker. The smoker was still going.
Or Ron Swanson pulling out of the park.
Yeah. He was. I'm sitting there going.
I'll keep on talking. I'll be right.
And so you get these teams that are like sports, they're animal themed, right?
Right.
I'm expecting somebody to have Colt burgers somewhere in this parking lot. And this guy probably had them in his smoker as he's leaving the parking area. He's chilling at a good 20 to 25 miles an hour, and there is smoke rolling from his stovepipe. And I'm like,
oh, that's great.
I'm looking. I'm like, is he one of those redneck dudes that's got the upright smokestacks for his dually diesel? No, this was a straight up regular old Ford Super Duty F-250, gas engine, pulling a trailer with a smoker on it, and the smoker was smoking. I'm like, and the cops just like,
I mean, what can you do at that point? What do you tell them to put it out?
Right. I'm sitting there going,
isn't that a fire hazard?
I mean, only if it's
at a certain point, it's going to burn itself out.
Yeah.
Because it can only get so hot. It can consume at such a speed that eventually you would think that the fuel would just burn itself out.
Yeah, you're gonna increase the airflow over there, so it's just gonna get hotter, and you'll be fine. You'll just burn it off quicker.
I mean, it's either that or he was just really going for like he's like, fucking my brisket's stalling out. We're gonna get on the road. It'll be done by the time we get home.
Right.
Like something, right? All right. So getting back, you know what? We're just going to be nice to the people of Middle Tennessee, and we're going to take Tennessee over the Commanders.
Yeah, I think that's
49ers. We're going to take San Francisco over Carolina.
Another safe pick.
As much as I hate to say it, we're going to take the Eagles over Arizona. Kyler Murray's good, but he's not.
Yeah, that hurts, but yeah. Again, I'll agree.
Will Cooper Rush win his 5th start against the Rams?
Probably not.
I mean, all things considered, I think they fare pretty well.
I don't know. That's a tough call, man. The bottom's going to fall out.
I want to be realistic and say that they could possibly pull that off.
They could.
Now, you've got Sam Darnold still playing defense for the Rams. It depends on who they line up on the other side of him.
Yes.
I know Tyron Smith, I think his name is. He had an ankle injury. His ankle rolled on him or something like that last Sunday. They retaped it and sent him back out, and it was fine. You know what? Screw it. I'm going to take Dallas. Dallas over the LA Rams. Cincinnati at Baltimore. You know, honestly, I haven't been that impressed with Baltimore lately. And normally they're just good enough to where they're annoying.
Right. Yeah, their defense has always been kind of the deciding factor for them, but yeah, they've gone downhill recently.
I think Joe Burrow's going to have a pretty decent day. I think Cincinnati's going to take that game. Okay. And our Monday night affair, the Las Vegas Raiders at the Chiefs.
Chiefs all day. It's not
Kansas City all day.
Not even a question.
Yeah. All right. So let's go over these again here. All right. So we got Denver over Indianapolis, Green Bay over the New York Football Giants, Buffalo over Pittsburgh, Cleveland over the Chargers, Jacksonville over Houston, Minnesota over Chicago, Detroit over New England,
Telling you.
Seattle over New Orleans, the Jets over Miami, Tampa Bay over Atlanta, Tennessee over Washington, San Francisco taking care of Carolina, Philadelphia is going to take care of Arizona, Dallas is going to go in and shock the world. You know, I hate that phrase. Hey, should we shock the world? I'm at pitching this. Just say, the Cleveland Guardians get to the World Series and they beat the Dodgers. They shocked the world. Meanwhile, halfway around the world in some North Korean rice paddy, Kim Il-sung guy stands up and goes, "Fuck me." Guardians won the World Series. I mean, are you really shocking the world?
No.
Vladimir Putin's going to go, the Guardians managed to beat the Dodgers. That's kind of like Ukraine right now. They're beating the shit out of me. You know what? Guys, I'm just so wrong. I'm shocked as you are. We're pulling out.
I'm shocked that I can't believe war's over because
Yeah.
Heck, boy, war's over.
Holy shit!
Or that saying that lightning never strikes twice. And there's a video out right now where apparently,
He's walking down an alleyway and he gets hit 3 times.
yeah,
Like, dude, you should have stayed home and bought fucking lottery tickets. All right.
like, how did you piss
off?
off God like 3 times?
Fuck
Yeah,
that dude.
it's like, you know, God's sitting there going, "Hey, son, what's the over/under? I can hit him 3 times." You know,
Or it was a hold my beer and watch this shit. This is gonna be funny as hell. You watch.
We're gonna
I mean,
get some clout today.
you know,
Learn
please,
today.
God, forgive us, for we know not what we do. So Tennessee over Washington, San Francisco over Carolina, Philadelphia over Arizona, Dallas over the Rams, Cincinnati is over Baltimore, and Kansas City wrapping out the week with a win over Las Vegas in Allegiant Stadium. Have you ever listened to the radio broadcast for the Raiders? They got Brent Musburger calling their games.
Who's Brent
Yeah.
Musburger?
Okay, Brent Musburger for years called college football games on ABC. It was not an uncommon appearance for him to call bowl games all the way through, including the national championship. Back
He's a John
in,
Madden of college football.
yeah. So, all right. So, one of the most memorable Brent Musburger games that I remember, I was still living up in Wichita Falls. This is when Tim Tebow was still playing at the University of Florida, and they were playing the national championship game. David Nelson was one of his wide receivers. David Nelson went to Rider High School. It's always kind of cool to hear your hometown be mentioned on a radio broadcast, a national radio broadcast. You know, just like whenever I would hear Joe Castiglione talk about how Ryan Brazier is from Wichita Falls, Texas, right? It's always, you know, just kind of cool to hear that New England accent say Wichita Falls, right? But hearing Brent Musburger talk about David Nelson from Rider High School, Wichita Falls, Texas, catching a touchdown pass in the national championship game from Tim Tebow, it's just cool to me, right? And I'm like, that was like my favorite Brent Musburger call ever. And then he called that USC game in the Rose Bowl, didn't he? When they played each other in the national championship. Man, people still talk about that being the greatest college football game ever played.
Mm-hmm.
Vince Young should have stayed one more year.
Yes. If he would have stayed one more year, he wouldn't have gone to the Titans and he would have actually mattered.
Yeah.
Because they didn't draft for their junior year.
Actually, he wanted to play for the Texans. If he'd have stayed one more year, the Mario Williams experiment would have fizzled.
Yep.
And he would have ended up in Houston anyway.
Yep.
The same thing with Johnny Manziel. Johnny Manziel should have stayed his ass in all the way through his senior year.
Yeah, his ego got away from him. That was the big thing.
I mean, that is a classic case of your daddy should have whooped your ass.
Oh, big time.
Yeah. Colt McCoy, he plays in Arizona now. And you know how Colt McCoy, Texas Longhorn, right? Well, Cliff Kingsbury is the head coach. He was a quarterback at Texas Tech. So a couple of weeks ago when UT lost in Lubbock to the Red Raiders, Colt McCoy bet Cliff Kingsbury that the loser had to wear the other school's gear and posted it on social media. You saw the most whipped dog look on McCoy's face in the Arizona Cardinals locker room wearing nothing but Texas Tech Red Raiders. And he even had to do this.
Oh, man.
He even had to do the guns up. And he had this, I'm just doing this so I don't get fined look on his face. I got
Speaking of
one of my best friends. He was the best man at my second wedding. He went to Texas Tech the same time Cliff Kingsbury did. So we went to go watch my buddy graduate, walk the stage. I got to watch Cliff Kingsbury walk the stage. And you would think that the place would have just completely erupted in applause.
Really?
It was a slow, dull
Golf clap?
Wow.
I'm like, oh, really? This guy basically put your program back on the map. And this, okay. But being this, I mean, because Cliff Kingsbury never really went anywhere.
Yeah.
I think he got drafted, but he got cut, and then he just went to coaching. He went back to Tech to coach for a few years, and then he got like a offensive coordinator job with A&M. And then he went and got a pro job as a head coach. Now he's coaching the Arizona Cardinals now.
Oh,
But anyway, so did you write those down, David, or do you want me to physically post them?
I didn't write those down.
All right.
one job, dude.
No, that's not my job. He has access to the Facebook account too.
You had a pen in your hand. You have paper in front of you. I could see it from
Yeah, you, sir.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about,
We're just
Chris.
disappointed.
What are you fucking talking about, Chris?
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The only other good news I have is the Texans beat out OU this year at the Cotton Bowl. So, but I guess are we gonna go, because we're pushing 9:30 right now, and I got sleepy time because I got to wake up in the morning.
You're such
So
Hold on.
we're past his bedtime.
hey, it's getting there. It's the reason why.
How old are you?
Take a break for a second, David. Go in your
Well,
bathroom.
after January, it's going to be totally
Finish.
different.
Let me finish.
Okay.
Like how I did that?
Yeah. It was 3D and everything. It was coming at me. It was almost out to get me, but I dodged. I left and right.
Well, on top of the fact that it's not allowing me to post.
The fuck?
Uh-huh.
Just copy and paste and send it to my messenger, and I'll fucking post it.
Okay. All right. So I was going to say you need to just take a break, step away from the microphone for a minute, go into your latrine, laboratory, your powder room, whatever you call it. Reach into that drawer, get your Vagisil, and clear out that drip.
Huh. Huh.
Very common affliction called sand in the vagina-itis.
This is
scrubbing.
Is this going to be like a common occurrence and I just need to prepare for?
Clear that out. For you, probably.
Probably, yeah.
I imagine you're going to get that quite a bit.
Yeah, with both of you motherfuckers.
Fortunately for you,
I'm not making any more new friends anymore because it's hurting my ego.
Fortunately for you, David, they make bug plugs in increasing sizes.
Yes.
You know what? You can no. You know what? Okay.
It's like a trainer kit.
I think it was Maria that sent me this. Was she found this like training butt plug things? No.
Yeah.
But anyways, it has stages. It's like small, medium, and large, and then it gets larger and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
What the? That's a. Oh wow!
Don't act like you don't have one of those.
Just when you start looking at the hentai dildos and the tentacles, stop.
Yeah. Yeah, the horsecock tentacles are that's more advanced. You're not there yet, David.
Okay.
I mean, we don't want you to go there, bud, because I mean,
You don't want my farts to just be like,
No, when you have to worry is when you start getting the baby head dildos. Those are the one. That's when you have to really start worrying. That's when we need to get the intervention going.
yeah, because if I can ever get you out on a golf course, I don't want to be distracted and lose the back off challenge because of a slight
My
breeze
ass
goes
whistling.
by.
Start whistling.
Yeah. No, it's like, hold on.
You'll know when the wind is blowing, though, and you'll know how hard it's blowing.
It's
by
not that the wind is blowing, it's what the wind is blowing.
well,
We don't want to
make
hear
sure
that.
you're standing upwind, but you'll be able to tell the velocity just by the pitch
Right.
of the
Yes,
wind.
yeah,
Yeah, see, I'm telling you, that might be an asset.
I mean, on the bright side, though, he won't have streak marks in his underwear anymore.
No,
That's true.
It'll be rings,
Yeah.
but and you'll be a
Imagine
hit.
a bad
And
shit
you'll be a
day, though, and
hit.
everything just plops out.
I think about it. You won't have to strain anymore. You won't have to worry about
I
it.
know, right?
No,
It just release.
right here. We're not coming up with any cons.
I mean, just get your Kegel exercises in every day.
Right. You need to maintain your pelvic floor.
Oh wow!
Fuck.
This thing is tragically gone off the rails.
I sent that video to y'all guys. Y'all didn't watch it. Justin
Which one?
is it was the one where can you do like a 40-minute presentation without preparing for the presentation? And he's like, I could do it. Hell, my ADHD we'll go on a fucking trip.
That's been every conversation we've ever had.
I went
Yeah.
to the doctor.
Yeah.
I don't know what AD is,
Playing
but I
any of
got
this.
any of them sons of bitches.
Dude, I was supposed to talk to you about something off air, and I don't even remember what it was. That's the reason why I have a
We
pen.
didn't even get some
What the hell?
NASCAR news this week, so I'm just like, oh my god. Okay.
So
And just remember, kids, the new movement on online is that you can't date a trans man or trans woman and still be straight.
There's hope for you yet, David.
yeah, I know. I was kind of sad face right there. Anyways, I'm David Dickerman,
I'm Johnny Skelton.
I am Chris Jacko.
and this is Nerd Sports 76. Thank you all for watching.
Oh, we cut out. You know what, dude? I'm going to put you on the spot. Black Rifle sponsors Mike Rose the way I heard it now.
I was not aware of that.
Yeah. The last few
he was on their
episodes of the last
podcast.
few weeks, he does live reads.
Yeah, he was on their podcast. Usually anytime one of the people are on like the Black Rifle Coffee podcast, they usually sponsor him too.
Yeah. That's
So
yeah.
we need to make that happen, bro.
I mean, it's not like I don't know some people.
Hey,
I'm telling you, I'm not ready yet. But all right, we'll go ahead and go up to the front of prom and see if we can get a little bit of action. All right.
hey, look, even the
You know
kid
what?
with
You
Down
know what?
syndrome-
Fuck the prom. Let's just go up to
No.
family reunion and try to get some
Look,
action there.
no. Even the
gonna be
fat
weird.
ugly girl and the kid with Down syndrome get voted into the homecoming court too. So you're good.
And we have a new tagline.
All right.
That's a T-shirt. Even the Down kid gets voted to homecoming court.
I'd wear the shit out of that shirt. Are you kidding me?
We gotta write that down and make that shit.
Oh.
HEB, fuck yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you finally got my button.
Oh, keep it between the white lines, people. We'll catch you on the flip side.
Flawless victory.